This week on The Real Housewives of Atlanta.
What kind of glue is on your motherfucking wig? Sweetie, you're not understanding.
I want you
I
to help
still
me.
have not
Talk
said
to me like I'm a
that I am.
5-year-old.
No, I'm gonna talk to you like you're however old you are. And I
I'm
want you
fine
to
right
act
now.
that age.
I'm fine. Speak to me like.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16, Episode 7. Let's get right into it. Okay, so the opening scene is Brit and Mike. They're car shopping. She says that car shopping is a must every 2 years. So she's trying these cars out, doing a bit too much, like sticking her leg out and spreading it open. The husband has to be like, put your leg down. You're doing too much. Brit also mentions to her husband how Angela came at her and that she shouldn't have because Angela doesn't understand how insurance works. Brit is still claiming that she's under investigation because she was accused of insurance fraud. According to Brit, you have to be squeaky clean to the agency that you have your insurance at. So it's serious for her. Brit says about Angela that she's not a girl's girl. What if I bring up what I've heard about her? What if I talked about the baby out of wedlock her husband had? Oh, well, we already knew that. Wendy Williams told us that, but I was shocked she said it. Drew then goes to Angela's house. Now, Angela says to Drew, I gotta let you know, I spoke to Michael and he said he wasn't your cousin. She's saying this because last week, when they were over at Shamea's house, Drew said to the girls that her maiden name was Jordan, and she said to them, y'all know Michael Jordan is my cousin, right? Now, Angela says, she talked to Michael, he said it wasn't true, but Drew wants to claim it was a joke. But they played the clip of when she said it. It sounded like she was serious, but we've been knowing that Drew's a liar. That's why I call her Drew Lidora. Just like Mia Thornton. They just lie and lie. It's compulsive. Angela is still upset at Brit. Drew says that Brit actually texted her to see if she wanted to go meet up. And of course, Drew's playing hard to get. Like, I don't know about go. Like, I'll think about it. Drew, stop it. You ain't all that. She also tells Angela about her current situation with the divorce. She's upset that these records will be open, so she's going to work on that, and court is coming up. As it relates to Dennis, they're still talking about it. Oh my gosh, if they talk about this crap one more time. Okay, then next up, 50 Cent goes over to Kelli's house, and so does Porsha and Shamea. Cynthia's talking about what her new man has to have, and she has a lot of requirements, but they're reasonable. Porsha is asking Shamea and Kelli how the peace brunch went, and they let her know that it wasn't so good. Brit and Angela definitely got into it. Cynthia then asks Porsha about Drew. Porsha says she doesn't really care, but she does call her a pathological liar. Porsha then lets them know that her birthday is coming up, so she wants them all to go to Nashville, and the theme is going to be Cowboy Carter. I feel like every reality show these past year and a half, they've all done some sort of cowboy thing, and she's going to have some extra friends join them at the trip, including her sister Lauren and Moneta. Really? Moneta? So Drew isn't invited. Porsha's not inviting her, but Angela wants Drew to go. So when Porsha made the initial invitation to everybody, she was on like a group FaceTime with all of them, and Angela said on that FaceTime, oh, Drew's not here, and Porsha kind of just made like a funny comment to kind of ignore what Angela said, but she never really said anything afterwards. So that's when Angela took upon herself to invite Drew to this trip, even though Porsha did invite her and doesn't want her there, but she's gonna go because Angela tells her to go. And so Drew's saying to Angela, I'll go for you. We then see nice little scenes like Kelli was teaching her daughter how to drive, Shamea was at the studio, Angela's feeding her kids, and Cynthia and Porsha were spending some time together. Then we get to the Drew and Brit meeting up. They look good, both of them did. And here goes Drew with another lie, telling Brit, I was so happy that you reached out. I can't. You were just acting like you almost acted disgusted that Brit reached out to you when you were talking with Angela, but now all of a sudden you're so glad she called you. So they touch on the brunch that just happened, and Brit says that she was heated because she felt like no one really validated her feelings, especially given that it had just happened. It was very recent. Drew says to her, I get that. It just felt like, you came in very hot, but I would like to get to know you more. And she straight up asks Brit, did you ever sell it? We all know what it means, and Brit says no. She also says that she never did any adult films. What she did do was webcam, and she admits to what she did on that. Brit does say to Drew, I do have to ask you something. I did hear that you told some of the girls that you know who the recipient of those explicit pictures was. Do you really know who that is? And Drew says, oh no, that was a joke. Girl, I'm glad Brit called this out, because Drew, is that what you're going to do now? Every time you get caught in a lie, you're going to say it's a joke? That's not cool. But Brit does communicate to Drew how humiliated she felt by what was done to her. And I do think that Drew understood her at a deeper level, and they both agree to move on. So it's a new day, and it's day for court, Drew and Ralph. So apparently this court hearing is to try and get Ralph to move out of the house, and Drew is also trying her hardest to keep this divorce sealed. She claims that she's fearful for Ralph and what's in it about him. She says that she's not worried about herself, which I do think is so weird while you're trying so hard for something to be sealed, but you claim to be protecting the other person. I mean, I could believe it. I could see, okay, it's the father of her kids. Maybe she doesn't want him to be in a bad light. But she's a little too invested in this. So, I don't know. Something tells me that there's things that both of them did that she doesn't want out. And you know what? It was really interesting for us to see the side-by-side of both Drew and Ralph. They arrived to the courthouse. They both had meetings with their attorneys separate. Ralph's lawyer says to him, this is a money grab. It's a money grab. And there goes Ralph. I knew it. They didn't show what happened inside the courtroom, but we did see when they left, and Ralph looked very happy. He came out of there singing, I don't have to leave. So I'm going to take that as he doesn't have to leave the house. Then he and Drew start fighting outside. She's in the car and he's in the parking lot, and she says to him, you're a dumbass for what you did in there. Let me tell you, these two are something else. So that was a lot. But yeah, Ralph doesn't have to move yet, and the divorce is gonna be open. It's gonna be an open case. So it is then a new day, and we see the ladies arrive to the airport. Time for their Nashville trip. The women get there. Angela missed her flight. She was late. Not her pulling a Robin Dixon. You're missing a flight because you're late. They had this very nice house when they got there. Porsha is assigning the different rooms. When they get to the basement, Porsha does joke and she says, Drew, are you in there? That was funny. Porsha obviously got the best room. Shamea got the second best. Kelli and Brit are sharing one. Angela will get the remaining one. And then they go to eat. Porsha shares how this birthday is definitely going to feel different since she's getting a divorce, but she's really going to try and make the best of this trip with her girls. And that's when Angela walks on in. Porsha says, hey, everyone's saying hi, we're all going to turn up. Now, Angela's been there for about 2 seconds, and she says, speaking of fun, I want Drew to come, and I did invite her. And Porsha's just like, what? Like, wow, I didn't invite her for a reason. Meanwhile, Kelli is texting her stylist because he's going to come here too because she needs him to know what to wear, whatever. And Angela brings up how she saw Kelli and Brit at the mall the other day. So according to Brit in her confessional, they saw Angela at Neiman's Marcus on a Saturday. She had some granny glasses and messy hair. Brit said to her, is that you, Angela? And Britt claims that Angela started hiding inside of the clothes. Angela denies this, but that sounds funny. So here at the table, Britt says, when we did see each other at the mall, like you hugged me, was that real? Was that real what you did? And Angela says, if I did it, it's because I meant it in the moment. Yes, it was real. So they seem to kind of have squashed a little bit their tension that they had from last episode. So then they have some time to go out to their rooms, relax a little bit, and then later they start to get ready for dinner. And then they head out. The ladies all look great. They headed out, and that's when they meet up with the other women that Porsha invited as well. And they start to get lit up, dancing, drinking, riding the mechanical bull. The ones who lasted the longest were Kelli and Shamea, but ultimately Shamea won by about 10 or 20 more seconds. Okay, so then they're at the table, they're about to eat or whatever, ordering their food, and then Manetta says, where is Drew? Oh my gosh, Manetta. But you guys, y'all want to know where Drew actually is at the moment? She's actually in Atlanta at some club celebrating and FaceTiming Dennis. They showed a brief clip of that. But Angela was wondering at the table as well, where is Drew? And Porsha then starts to tell her friends that Angela took it upon herself to invite Drew without her permission. And she says she is going to have her crash my birthday trip. Angela says to Porsha, well, you made it seem like it was okay. Porsha says, no, you pressured me. Angela says, well, I feel like this is the perfect opportunity to put our issues on the table, work through our things. Portia's like, no, this is the perfect opportunity for me to celebrate me. Porsha then says, what kind of glue is on your mother effing wig to have you thinking that? And Angela says, don't speak to me like that, like I'm a 5-year-old. Porsha says, I'll speak to you how I have to. You should have kept your mouth shut, because everything was okay until you said something that everybody wants to know. Some of Porsha's friends were also a little confused as to what happened with Drew. So Lauren, Porsha's sister, starts to tell them what Drew did by going and meeting with Dennis or whatever. And somebody makes a comment about Drew maybe giving Dennis some fellatio. And it seemed like Porsha kind of alluded to it as well. And maybe she didn't fully allude to it, but she definitely didn't deny it. So that's messy. Britt didn't like that comment. But that was the end of the episode. Oof. Okay. So it looks like next week Drew will arrive to the party and there'll be some drama. So yeah, that was it for this episode. This episode was okay. Nothing too crazy, but it was enjoyable. But what did y'all make of it? What did y'all make of Angela inviting Drew? Let me know in the comments. Again, I am getting a little tired of the Drew and Porsha feud because it's kind of dumb. Honestly, the most interesting part of the episode, in my opinion, was seeing Drew and Ralph go to court. But you guys, like I said, let me know what your thoughts were. Also, happy Easter. It also happens to be my birthday, which is super cool that it's Easter and my birthday. So happy Easter and happy birthday to me. But y'all, have a great one. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a great one. Bye.